What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk of the Ring Show. If you do not know who I am, then that means you're not subscribed. And if you are not subscribed, you're going to be missing so many great episodes. So just hit the subscribe button. It's sitting right there. But today I have a feeling it's gonna be a fun one, a funny one, because this kid is a major nerd. No, I'm just kidding. But let's give a warm welcome to JJ Smith.
Wow, so you start off right away calling me a nerd. Right away, you're trying to get me going.
I
Right
mean,
away.
aren't you though?
Do you see this name right here? It says the intellectual interrupter. That is my name. I am an intellect. I am not a nerd. I despise that terminology. Everybody loves to chant it during my matches to try and throw me off, but I prefer you all chant intellect. That would be a lot better.
Yeah, but that's too big of a word for us.
I
So
know. So it's kind of asking a lot to do that, but if you want to please me, that would be preferable to all of you people. So
okay. You people, also known as your
yeah,
fans.
sorry,
Okay.
sorry.
So I always hop into it with who or what got you into wrestling.
Wow. So first time I ever saw wrestling, it was John Cena and Brock Lesnar in 2012, and they were brawling. And there's just something about it, that was like, this is insane what I'm watching right now.
Yeah.
You guys trying to beat each other up and everything. So it's just something that's when I became a fan. But as far as wanting to actually become a wrestler, I'd been a fan for many, many years, and this was freshman year in college. I was sitting in my dorm room, and I was literally, you know, I didn't do anything else. I just stayed and watched wrestling a lot in my dorm, and I was like, you know what? I think I need to do more with this. I think I have something here. School's too easy for me. I can get good grades. I can do all that. So I want to do something that's gonna, be a little bit different and challenge me.
Oh yeah. So like
Mhm.
that was the moment you knew I want to do this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was the day it all changed for me. Immediately I went on and started looking up wrestling schools, and I've said this before, none of the other schools responded to me except for the Battlefield. So I owe a lot to them. I owe a lot to Afa and TJ, because they're the only ones that seem to believe in me. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. So as you mentioned, Battlefield, how long have you been training there?
I started training in early October. I was my first training session. I had my first match in March, and since then it's just been a crazy wild ride. I've had this coming Sunday will be my 20th wrestling match, which is insane. But yeah, no, almost a year in, and it's changed my life.
No, that's crazy. So how did well, I'm not even gonna ask. I was gonna say, how did the whole like intellectual one thing come up? But it's pretty explanatory because just look at you.
I'm just smart, it's easy for me. I don't know what to say. The biggest thing is I wanted to do something different, in wrestling. I wanted to stand out from everybody. And,
Yeah.
I've been called a nerd my whole life. I've been called, made fun of for being that my whole life, geek, whatever you want to call it. So it was kind of something easy to lean into. That was like,
Yeah.
I had the mindset of, oh, I'm used to this. So, if a couple hundred people are chanting it at me, it shouldn't be too bad. So it's kind of something I wanted to lean into a little bit.
Well, no, yeah. I think that in that term of growing up being called it is different than being called it now, because right now it's
Eh,
more in a fun, funny way. Then
Funny?
it was
I don't know if it's funny, Harley. I don't know.
it
People,
is
they really
hilarious.
get in my head. I'm just trying to wrestle a match, and
You
these
poor
these
thing.
these ignoramuses just want to start chanting that at me. It's like, really? Come on.
Them big words.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Uh, so if people don't know, are you a baby face or are you a heel?
I despise this terminology. I am a good person at heart. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody thinks. I am a good-hearted person.
Yeah, and that's why you
Yes.
cheated when in your last match?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Cheated. How did I
Mhm.
cheat? I beat the thoroughbred Terry Adonis
By
very easily, mind
cheating.
you.
By
How did I
cheating.
cheat?
You know how you cheated. Anyway, so my
I
dad's in the
I know everything, but I don't know how I cheated.
So my dad's in the chat, chanting your name.
Ah, here we go. Here we
Yep,
go.
that's gonna
He's
be your
getting
new
ready. He's
nickname.
getting ready for Sunday.
Yeah. So if a little kid came up to you at one of the shows and said, "I want to do exactly what you're doing," what advice would you give them?
I would tell him, kid, you gotta work hard. You gotta study. You gotta know the business. And if you put your heart and your mind to it, especially your mind, you will get it. You can do it. I'll say that. I won't say anyone can't do this, because there's people. If you put in the work, if you put in the time, if you train hard, you are able to do this. So just, I'll say to that little kid, just bide your time, wait for your opportunity, and it'll happen.
No, most definitely. And like me and Terry said yesterday, it doesn't even really matter your age. Like even if you're an adult and you still want to do it, go for it. Because like we have that guy, Playboy, whatever his name is, and he's like in his 60s. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
he's old. He's really old.
He is a
Yeah.
grandpa. I think
Mhm.
his time is over. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Don't tell him I said
I didn't
that.
say it. I didn't say it. Nope, nope. On the record, I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
Yep. So what would you say is like your favorite thing about wrestling?
Uh, honestly, besides, beating people up in the ring, I enjoy doing that a lot. But this might shock a lot of people, but that moment right before you go out of the curtain, where just you're nervous and the adrenaline and anxiety is all running, excitement a little bit. I never felt anything like that before in my life, especially for like my first match. So just getting to experience that is unlike anything else. You can't teach that. You can't put it into words how it feels. So
No, yeah.
yeah.
That's definitely cool because I think that's something a lot of wrestlers say. Like right before they come out, they always will have that like anxiousness and nervousness. But like the fans will never tell that you have that because you come out there and act like, yeah, I'm all like you. You're like, yeah, I'm a nerd. I'm gonna do what I gotta do,
Mhm.
and it doesn't matter. So it's cool.
Yeah. No, it's all about, tapping into who you want them to see you as soon as you step out there, and how you want them to feel and everything. So,
No,
no, it's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So switching the table, what would you say is like the hardest part for you?
Um, hardest part about wrestling. So I would, a while ago I would have said the physical, the staying in shape and the working out, but that's something that over time has gotten, I don't want to say easier, but more comfortable for me. So, and I can't say the mental aspect because I'm head and shoulders above everyone. So like, there's nothing my mind can't handle. But I'll go with this one, the emotional, impact of wrestling and
Yeah.
how it affects you, and, just trying to navigate the business both behind the scenes and in front of the camera. It can definitely take a toll on you emotionally, and, it's all about trying to keep it together in the most difficult moments. So that to me is the hardest part.
No, yeah, most definitely. And so obviously you're a Battlefield student. You've wrestled for Battlefield, but you've also wrestled other places. Do you have
Mhm,
like obviously Battlefield is home, but
mhm.
besides Battlefield, is there any like other venue that you wrestled in? You're like, I really like this place and I will wrestle here. Any opportunity I get.
I'll Right now I'll wrestle anywhere I can possibly get an opportunity in. I wrestled in PPW once in their Rumble. That was a that was a real fun experience. I'd love to work with them again. Absolutely, my door's always open. I've had a few matches in RCW now. I'd love to keep working there. Might continue to still work there. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. I was down in West Virginia a couple weeks ago. That was a really interesting but cool experience for me. So yeah, my door's really open to anywhere right now. That I'd love to work anywhere.
Oh yeah, and I think that's the cool thing about wrestling because there's like always a show every weekend. So even as a wrestler, if you're not on a show, you could always still go and then you might be needed and they're like, "Yeah, there you go." So
Absolutely.
it's cool, it's cool.
Mhm.
So if WWE called and AEW called at the exact same time, you could only pick one. Which one would you pick?
I guess they would both call because they would both want me.
Yeah.
Which one would I pick?
Headlining the nerd.
Intellect. Come on. We already started this off wrong.
Okay.
Let's
Okay.
try to make it right now.
Okay.
I don't know. That's a really hard call to make. I think both companies would be different experience. I think going to WWE would mean it's a lot bigger stage. I don't know if I'd have as much freedom to do as I please there. I feel like they're more controlling there. But then again, bigger payday and bigger exposure. And obviously, you're hanging around with some of the best in the world. Whereas in AEW, I feel I would have a bit more freedom to express myself. And, but the downside being they don't have as much exposure and experience as WWE. So I'm going to be annoying and give you a half answer on that and not really answer it, but yeah.
Okay. So it doesn't really fit you, but would you say like you would do like how do you feel about hardcore wrestling? Like death match, street fights?
They're not smart. They're not smart. That's the bottom line. We already put our bodies on the line enough when we enter that ring. So, to do it with the intent of trying to hurt ourselves is just asking for trouble. So if it calls for it, I will do it. I will happily destroy anyone in a death match. That's not an issue for me. So
I don't think you'd be the one destroying them. I think they'd be destroying you.
Why not?
Because look at you.
Wow. No. Okay. Look at me. Yes, but just keep in mind what's up here. Okay. Doesn't matter how many weapons. I will find a way to beat them. In a real fight, you have to act on your feet, and that's what I'll be doing. And they won't be able to keep up because I'm 10 steps ahead of them. So
yeah. So what you're saying is like you'd be perfect in like a Sean Maluda and Vinnie Mac type of match where they're doing all them crazy shits.
Absolutely. I would beat up both of those in a death match happily. That's right. That's
okay.
right.
If you say so. Whatever fills that brain of yours, go for it.
And everything fills this brain. Don't you worry.
So with that being said, how do you feel about like intergender male versus female?
I think it has a place. I think it, needs to become more mainstream to be like, I guess, accepted by like public fans and everything.
Yeah.
I think I would be interested in that maybe. I just think it's a good idea to get, because women have not had the greatest spot in wrestling. So I think it's an opportunity to try and elevate them even more, to put them in there with the guys, and just make them work even harder, make the guys work even harder too. So I think that's an incredible, opportunity that should happen. Yeah.
I think that's one of like the best things you said this entire podcast. Now.
Oh, really? See, I'm a great guy, Harley. I am a nice person. Just no, I'm the nicest guy you've ever met.
Okay. So being this nice guy, do you ever feel like there will be a time where the tables will turn and you will be a bad guy? Or is it not in you?
I do what needs to be done. I'll say that. I win by any means necessary.
Cheating.
No, I hate that word. I'm not going to be a bad guy. I'm always a nice guy. There's nothing about me that spells bad guy. So
no, I said it on the last couple podcasts. I think it depends on the person. Like you can tell, like they're gonna be a healer, they're gonna be a face. Like you, I think you're definitely a face. But if you gotta do what you gotta do. Cheating, you'll do it.
I appreciate you saying that, because you're saying I am kind of a good guy then. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah, whatever. Now you're just gonna use this against your advantage, but whatever. So do you think it's going to be like an age thing, a mindset thing, or just like an injury thing that causes you to retire at some point?
Oh, wow.
Or what do you hope it is that causes you to retire?
Well, I hope to do this as long as I can. but I know everybody says that, and then they get to a certain age and their bodies are just like, no, it's
Yeah.
time to stop. So I I am gonna hope that I don't burn out mentally of this. I think I hope I continue to, push and want to be the best wrestler I can be, is no matter how old I get. And I think what will eventually slow me down is the physical aspect, because there's nothing like this in the world. I mean, I've had a handful of minor injuries, nothing great, nothing big yet, but I know that a lot of guys have, and it's not ballet that we're doing. So eventually my body is gonna, tell
No,
me it's
yeah.
time eventually. So
No, yeah. So there's so many great Battlefield stars. Who would you say, like, in the Battlefield that you wish to have a match with at some point in your career?
that's easy, right? Well, right now I will say the answer is Sam Adams, because he's our champion. I had a match with him earlier. Yes, I did lose to him, but I'll tell you this, the best way to learn is by failure. And I can tell you right now, I have learned so much from that match. And if we ever face again, the outcome would be very different than how it first was. And Sam Adams, if you're watching this, I'm coming for your title. I think I deserve it. So, you better watch out. So that's immediately who I want right now. Down the line, I would love to face Logie P. I heard what he said. Oh my gosh, I would love to beat him up in the ring. You don't know how badly I want that. Because I heard all the things he said on the podcast yesterday, and I hear all the things he says all the time. And somebody just needs to get in there and shut him up. So I look forward to doing that at some point.
Well,
Um, and then I'll put this out there. I'd love to get in there with Alpha. I think I can. I think I want to test myself against him. Yeah.
okay. Well, speaking on the Loki thing, I think you and him both have potential, but in that case, I'd be going with the nerd, JJ Smith.
Yeah. Thank you.
I don't know. It's something about Logie, like in the ring. Like I can tease him way more than I can tease you, and it's hilarious.
Yeah. He's getting there. We'll say, but
No, I
I
think
think
you're
he needs
all.
someone. I think he needs someone like me to get in there and teach him a lesson, so to speak. So
Yeah. And like speaking on Alpha, I think Alpha will kill you in the ring. But I think Alpha's like the biggest like dad of wrestling. Like he's everyone's wrestling dad.
it would be
So
hard. It would be hard for me to get in there, because he is my coach and he's the man that has changed my life and
mhm.
really elevated me as a human. So it would be hard, but I would be lying if I said I would not want to get in there with him and just mix it up. So
Oh yeah. I think that's everyone's dream now in the Battlefield is at least have it one with Alpha because he obviously has a legacy. He's been doing this for so long and he's
absolutely.
scary. I
Yeah,
don't know
he is.
about like your size because we almost the same height, but he's scary for me.
I will be honest here. He's a scary man, and I heard Terry say this, that you don't
Yeah.
want to get on their bad side. Well, I am smart enough to know that, and I'm not getting on his bad side here. I just a friendly competition. That's all I'm looking for here with him. So
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
know,
friendly,
yes.
but not with the Samoans.
Well, yeah,
They
we'll
turn
see what
them tables.
happens, but
Yeah.
probably asking for my death sentence right now, but it's okay. I'll have a plan, Harley. Don't worry. Don't worry.
All right. So make sure when that time comes, you let me know so I could be there and let me see you get your ass kicked by Alpha.
Okay. Absolutely.
So after you had your first match, what was going through your mind? Were you like pumped up? Were you like emotional? Or was you just like, it's over? Who cares?
I was very pumped up, and I was very, emotional, because, you think about that day your whole life, and you think about, like, even when I was younger and I thought, oh, I would never be a pro wrestler. Oh, it's not something I could ever do. And you think about it and you're like, and you finally get there and it's like, wow, you know, 10-year-old me was thinking about this and now here we are. So it's definitely very emotional. I was very excited because I felt like I found something that I'm passionate about. It wasn't like a horrible experience my first match, so that's a good thing. Um, and yeah, I knew I made the right decision as soon as I had that first match. So yeah.
No, yeah. And like that's such a big moment for you as a wrestler because like all your family usually comes out and like it's the world gets to know who you are. And like
Mhm.
I say it all the time. I give it to you guys. I cannot do it. I probably can do it, but I can't physically do it. Cause like I see the pain you guys go through. I'm like, well, I'm loud, especially at the show. So I'm gonna stick to the manager side of it. But you
Mhm.
guys can stick to the wrestling and the moves. You do that. Go have fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is definitely physically demanding. And like I said earlier, you can do it if you want. It's just going to take a lot of hard work and training. But yeah,
No. Yeah, I mean,
stick to the sidelines because you don't want to get in the ring with me and like something bad happens. So just
yeah,
fair warning right now.
okay. Or maybe at some point I'd be your manager, be like, "Come on,
That would
nerd,
be
move it,
cool.
move
That would be
it."
awesome. I would
Yeah.
need that because sometimes these guys are too much. So
And they'd
it
be
would be nice
kicking
to
your
have someone
ass.
watching my back.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
like I could pull like a Mr. Ruda kind of thing and like cheat too.
Yeah, no, we don't cheat. We don't cheat.
Yes.
We win.
You just
We
said
win
yeah.
with our brains, Harley. We don't cheat, okay?
Okay, so you're gonna have to train me on how to use the brain and
I
not.
will. I will. I'll send you some books. We'll get everything right. We'll be good. We'll be good.
Awesome. Okay. So we kind of mentioned about like coming through the curtain. And do you have like a specific warm up you do before you come through the curtain, or is it like?
Um, I try to study my opponent, not gonna lie, how he is, how he's, what his state of mind is. Um, I try to figure out what I'm gonna do to him right before I go out to get that 1, 2, 3. Um, and then just in my own head, try to block out everyone that I'm about to see that's about to chant nerd at me. Try to keep them out of my head. So that type of stuff.
Okay, okay. So if you could choose any opponent, alive or dead, not in the indie scene, but like big times, who would you face if you could?
Alive or dead, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Um, probably MJF. He is one of my favorite wrestlers right now. He seems to have the formula, so to speak, for wrestling. He seems to know how to do it right. So he's a guy that I really look to, and I would love to share a ring with at some point. Because
Okay.
he thinks he's better than everybody. So someone needs to smarten him up, so to say.
Yeah, it's gonna
Mhm.
be the intellectual one.
Exactly.
There we
Thank
go.
you. I see what you did there. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mhm, mhm. So do you plan I know merch is a big thing in this indie scene and wrestling in general. Is that something you see your in your career? Like
Like merch, yeah. So
yeah.
I have shirts designed right now. I just don't I have to get a lot more because I've already, sold a bunch, but I will be starting to have a table stand at these pay-per-view events for to sell some merch at because
Okay.
I have some cool designs in mind and it's definitely something I want to pursue. Extra source of income.
Yeah, definitely. So
Mhm.
you kind of mentioned you'll be at Battlefield. What are some shows that people will see you at in the next couple weeks?
Well, definitely Battlefield, the pay-per-view, and the future show. You can expect me on those every 2 weeks. Um, I may be on RCW, Regional Championship Wrestling. So look out for that one. Other than that, right now, I don't have anything confirmed. So just be on the lookout because as soon as I find out or as soon as someone reaches out to me, I will be posting all about it. So,
Most definitely. And so if
mhm.
people want to like stay tuned on where you will be at, where can they find you on social media?
So you can follow me on Instagram at JJ Smith Wrestler. That is my wrestling account, and you can find anything you need to know about the Intellectual Interrupter on there, my matches. Just wanting to see me beat up somebody, just go right there to that Instagram page and you'll have all my information.
or see him get beat up, but that works too. That works too.
Come on, Harley. I don't ever get beat up in that ring. There's a lot of tough competitors,
Never.
but let's be honest, none of them are as smart as me, so none of them know how to do the beating up as well as me. So
I mean, look at what happened with you and Terry. Terry is like a giant, and you're like
exactly. I beat Terry, and Terry was a good opponent, don't get me wrong. He brought the fight to me. But at the end of the day, experience and knowledge got the better of him, and I had that over him. So case in point.
So another question I have before we end this is, I know Logie did it. Were you a ref at some point too, or were you always just a wrestler?
I was a ref. I refed not the first pay-per-view, the one in January and the one in February. I was a referee. And it's really good because the February show, I refereed a match between Nolan Pierce and Timid Tamir. So even though I didn't know it at the time, I was studying my opponent, Nolan Pierce, for my eventual match with him this Sunday. So got a lot of, being in the ring with him as a ref gives me a hand up this Sunday. So
no, most definitely. And so, like, do you think if there came a point that you couldn't wrestle, like for an injury or some reason, would you want to transfer back into just being a ref, or would you like be a manager or something else?
If the injury was serious enough where I had to retire, I would more definitely lean towards a manager role and not a referee. I just think it'll fill the void better being a manager if I can't wrestle. So yeah, definitely leaning towards manager.
No, honestly, I think that would also suit you though, being a manager, because you can play both wrestler and manager, because you're the intellectual one. So why not?
Absolutely. I don't know why anyone would not want me in their corner as a manager, because I'll have all the keys to win. Especially if I'm not in there and I don't have to worry about myself. I can just worry about my guy. I think everyone should jump on that.
Yeah, I think it would depend on the wrestler. Like, it wouldn't make sense to have you being Terry's manager for logical reasons. Like, I don't think he needs a manager, but
he could use a smart guy pointing him in the right direction. I think everyone could use that, but you're right. Some people are just better off doing their own thing. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So some people work better alone, I guess.
Yeah, it depends. Like, I would say if you and Logie, I think you guys would make a great tag team on that end.
Why does everyone say that? Everyone says
logically speaking, I'm going to be the one to point it out, but when both of you guys are in the ring and you get smacked up, the very first time you get smacked up, you could see that mark in like 2 seconds. So, and it's just your guys' style. It kind of matches.
Don't ever. Logie's gonna hear this and he's gonna be excited, like more than ever, to hear you say that, because he wants that too. So I don't know.
I think it would make sense because your styles are similar. Your vibe is almost the same.
Vibe. He's a beach boy. I never go to the beach. I think we can all tell that I never go to the beach. So.
But that's more like you could be book smart and he's like street smart. Clearly, because
we'll see. Guys, I will say that. We'll leave it at that. We will see what happens there.
So a little story really quick, guys, is 2 weeks ago or last Sunday, whatever, this one right here almost got hit by a car because he was not street smart and he just walked out in front of a moving car. So yeah, we almost killed the intellectual one.
Let me tell this story properly. If
Go
you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I was talking to some of my fans and I was overjoyed by the fact that I just beat Terry Adonis. Serotonin machine gun was going off in my brain. And I'm walking back to the gym, right? And this car, who was not even paying attention, just pulls out right in front of me, right in front of your star, not even paying attention. So I had to stop and look at them and be like, really? You're going to run me over? And to make matters worse, everybody, I walk around the car, I let him go, and a window rolls down, and all of a sudden I hear, "Watch out, nerd."
All right, so that part is true, the watch out nerd, but all that other one is not true.
So first you try to run me over,
Mm-hmm.
and then to rub the salt in that wound, you call me a nerd.
That's not what happened, but okay.
I think that's what happened.
Okay.
I think we need like camera footage to see that, but I think
All
we
right,
need
so
to
what?
review the tape on that. But
So I'm just gonna attach cameras to my dad's car and be like, okay, well, let's rewind this and see like the nerd ran out in front of the car. So that was on
okay.
him. But
I think you just put yourself on blast for trying to assault me.
Yeah, I was gonna murder the intellectual one.
Oh yeah.
That's what
You
you're
can
saying.
try. You can try, but I'm too quick. So
Sure. Tell
Mhm.
yourself that.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's fun bullying you. It's fun.
It's fun bullying you.
Only you.
I can't believe that was a line you just said right now.
It's okay because it's me.
Bullying is bad, kids. Everybody, bullying is bad. Don't be a bully, okay?
It's okay. It's let me rephrase that. It's not even bullying because you ask for it.
Ah,
Just look at you.
You know, if you were a little smarter, you'd know not to bully me because you know I'm the star attraction. You need to treat me right. So, you know, I'm the guest. Remember?
Yeah. Well, I bully all my guests, so it's fine.
Oh, okay.
You just gotta take it.
You're just a bully, then, is what you're saying.
It depends on the person. It depends on the person. I wasn't a bully to Terry or Logie.
You know what?
Exactly.
You're just ignorant. You don't understand. You don't understand what it's like. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the struggle of being the intellectual one is a lot of work.
Yeah. I got a lot up here that I got to keep track of. You know, so keep calling me a nerd. Keep saying that. Just remember,
It's
nerds rule the
okay.
world.
I mean that. I mean that with love.
Okay. It's all love. The bully says.
Yeah. Only for you. I don't bully anybody else, but only you.
Okay, just me. So it's just me you have an issue with.
Yep.
Probably because of how good I am. That's why you bully me. That makes sense.
Yeah. Whatever you tell yourself, I'm all for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for coming on. It was fun.
No problem. Thank you for having me. The pleasure's all yours, but thank you for having me.
Guys, so just click the link down below and give the intellectual one a follow because he's not that bad. He's a decent wrestler. He's getting better day by day, but
I think I'm a great wrestler, but okay. You know,
you all have a great day.